When you hear that ring bell ding, it's time for Don to sing.
Might be some shit tonight I sing about. We'll
He's-
see. We'll see.
He's going to do some singing tonight, folks. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Squared Circle Maniacs Pro Wrestling Podcast. I am Johnny Bottles. To my left, in the ranting room, sequestered in the ranting room, in the bowels of stately Wayne Manor, with his magic windows, Dr. Don Wayne, the neckbeard psychologist. You know him, you love him from Twitter. Don, to quote a man who just lost a championship belt, what do you want to talk about?
Man, there's so much to talk about right now. Usually we save it till about the 7:30 hour to get in our AEW coverage, but it's sort of taken over the wrestling world today and the shocking manner in which it's happened. If you're paying attention, if you know, Powerhouse Hobbs last night in AEW was last night, as it turns out. And there's a lot of conflicting reports and a lot of conflicting news pieces. I've got as many as I can to go over this. But if you watch that show last night, the trios match that they announced for Collision this Saturday, of course, was pre-recorded last night, so the results are in.
What's the name of that show? What's the name of that show?
Collision.
That's it.
Again, Hobbs is leaving, has left AEW, is apparently coming to WWE. Don't know where he's going to be at. Don't know if it's going to be SmackDown. Don't know if it's going to be NXT. But he apparently is already, that's done. It's a done deal. Powerhouse Hobbs will have a new name. He is coming to WWE. He fits their bill. They like the bigger athletes.
Will Hobson. Will Hobson, everybody. Here he is, Will Hobson. P.H. Hobbs. What will you call him? And they already
watching that show last night.
He's not going to NXT. He's going right to the main roster. That's what they claim. That's what they claim.
I don't know if I can believe that. I just don't know.
They is Granny Alvarez, Brian Alvarez's grandmother. Okay.
And what if he shows up on NXT? Then what's he going to say?
Plans change.
My bad.
Plans change.
Plans change. There it is. The old cliche, plans change, shit happens. I am shocked that the way this happened on TV last night, because out of nowhere, a trios championship match was announced for Collision that night, just out of nowhere, for Saturday night. And it's an odd pairing. It's three guys that have no connection. Two guys have connection. The other guy doesn't. It's a Hangman Adam Page with jet speed. So that was sort of weird. I don't know where that came from. He just sort of showed up. We'll talk about it a little bit later, but they obviously took the titles off that trio. So the Ops are no longer your trios champions. Hobbs is out the door, and the conflicting reports are insane right now. And I got a couple of them right here. By the way, thank you all for watching. Like and subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. We appreciate your support.
Let me say this before you go on. Usually Tony's modus operandi is if a talent is rapidly approaching the contract expiration date. Denisha Lane with $1.99. What's going on, Nay? Hey, Don and Bottles, I'm so glad Powerhouse Hobbs is going to WWE. We've been saying he belongs there for years.
Before you go into that, before you go into saying what I think you're going to say about Hobbs, I got a couple of stories that's going to feed into what you're going to say. So hold on to what they usually do with AEW stars.
Let me finish my thought. Oh, hold on to that. Don't go into that.
Yes, hold that thought. I know where you're going. Just I got a piece for that puzzle. That's what I'm saying. There's so much conflicting bullshit. I don't even know where to start. Hey, Denisha, how you doing, girl? So, according to Dave Meltzer on December 19th, this is a direct quote from his show. We were both told that as of late, both talent from TNA and AEW who have called WWE have been told that they are not looking to hire new people. The idea is that they have so many in development, many of whom are ready to go, that they don't need new people. This is not an absolute, and obviously guys at the level of Jericho or Slater wouldn't fit into that category. A month ago, Dave Meltzer said they're not hiring. Just put that into perspective.
Right.
I wouldn't put Powerhouse Hobbs in the level of Jericho. I don't think you would either.
Of course not. A guy who's got everything in the world going for him on his way up the ladder, and a guy who's coming down the ladder at the end of his career. You all right?
So, yeah, I don't know if I'm freezing or you're freezing. I don't know what's going on right now.
Your sound's glitching. Your sound's glitching.
Well, Bottles, I can leave and come back and see if that'll fix it. If you can hold tight.
Whatever you want to do, pal.
Fine.
Hello, friends. How are you? This is a quiet moment with Johnny Bottles. Friends, how do you feel about AEW? How do you feel about WWE? How do you feel about TNA debuting tonight on AMC? On-screen announcement, Don Wayne at Bust a Move has just entered the studio. And there he is again. Don Wayne.
This is where it gets good. This is where Wrestling Observer, as of last night, WWE has expected they had Hobbs for quite a while. I could see why he would make the move. WWE is better when it comes to big muscular guys. Tony liked him. Tony didn't take him off TV. So that tells me he didn't know he was leaving. So now to your modus operandi, what usually happens, Bottles, when Tony knows he's losing a talent?
He gives them a belt and says, hey, there'll be more of this to follow. You'll be getting more belts to follow. If you stay with the company, I'll sign you to a lucrative 2-year, 3-year contract, whatever you want, just to keep you here under my arm, under the strong arm and the strong hand of Tony Khan.
Take my strong hand.
Take my strong hand.
What else usually happens, though, if they say no, Bottles?
You're off TV for good. You're banished to Guantanamo Bay, a term, by the way, that this podcast has coined. A lot of people have stolen it, often imitated, never duplicated. Guantanamo Bay. Go ahead.
I am speechless when it comes to what Dave Meltzer has been saying in the past month. One moment he's saying nobody's getting hired. The next moment he's saying WWE absolutely was trying to hire him for a while now. Tony Khan gave him, apparently there's 2 different stories on this. Tony Khan gave him more money and he said no. Is another report that I read. Offered him more money.
Gave Hobbs more money. And he said, of course. Don't you think he's talking to Ricky Starks? He's talking to Blake Monroe. He's talking to Ethan Page and seeing what's going on over there. They're actually being used as stars and being recognized for their gifts and what they can do. I mean, you don't have to be a rocket scientist to figure that out.
So I guess this is my question to you, and I've got my own theory, but what do you think is the truth behind all of this? Do you think Tony Khan knew he was leaving and was offering him all this money and kept him on TV? Or do you think somebody walked up to Tony Khan this week and said, hey, by the way, you know the guy that's holding one of your titles? He's gone as of midnight tonight. Did you know that?
I think he knew he was leaving. I think he forgot the date with the Jacksonville Jaguars. They were in the playoffs. They had a qualifier for the playoffs. What was that? Who did they face?
No, they had a wild card game. They
had a wild card game. I'm sure he was distracted doing press for the Jaguars. Glad handing everybody, acting like he's part of their success, which he's not. He has absolutely no idea how to run a football team whatsoever. And I think he was distracted by all that and the hoopla and forgot. It slipped his mind. And someone had to announce it to him now. And they had, oh, shit, we better make a quick change. And that's what happened.
I honestly think he totally forgot. I truly believe he forgot.
Right. He forgot.
Asked his mind. And that night he was like, shit, I got to get the titles off these guys. I got to do it now. And I'm going to do it in a weird fashion because that's what I do. Bottles, I manage a lot of contracts, right? This is no different than wrestling. There's an expected delivery date on my contracts. There's expected sign date. I've got all this stuff written down. Can someone show Tony Khan how to use a fucking spreadsheet and put an end date next to his wrestling roster, the 200 bloated people he's got listed, so that he can maybe, I don't know, look at that shit once a week and go, I've got a guy coming up in a month. I need to do something about this.
Right.
It's just not hard. WWE knew Ricochet was leaving. They put him through a windshield. You never saw him again till he showed up on AEW. It's just not this damn hard. And last night watching that show, especially that trios announcement, that challenge opportunity that came up, just felt like it fell out of the sky, out of nowhere. It sounded disconnected from anything else in that show.
When did that come out? Like after the 9 o'clock hour? I forgot.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like
it was probably halfway through the show while he was on his 10th White Claw. Someone probably said it was probably maybe Jerry Lynn. Hey, boss, by the way, you know that Will Hobbs' contract expires tonight at midnight.
What?
What? I'm not going to take this fucking shit. That's probably what he said.
If you know, you know. He actually used that at a press conference one time. I was just stunned at how bottles disappeared.
I'm here.
I was stunned. Okay. I was stunned at how quickly this all happened, unfolded, and the stories out of the fallout from this.
Sure.
It's just blowing my dome that you can run this type of a business and not realize one of your top guys is
what's it doing?
I'm going to get off by cranking your knob just a little beyond the breaking point.
I don't think it's going that far.
Well, blowing your dome. I mean, hey.
I don't get it, man. I was stunned when I woke up this morning. I looked at the IWC and they're just like, Hobbs is gone. I was like, what the fuck do you mean Hobbs is gone?
Who is surprised by the ineptitude in this front office of this company? Who's surprised by this?
I'm surprised at how bad
it's the Three Stooges are probably running the company behind the scenes. Curly Howard is there.
So we have said for a long time, I don't think there's anybody that's a WWE watcher that doesn't have two guys in mind on who they would like to see make the jump. This was one of them. We all know who the other guy is.
Of course. I'm sure he talks to Starks. He talks to Paige. He talks to Blake Monroe, Mariah May, whatever you want to call her. And he's probably got other friends in the company he talks to. Or I'm sure Ricky and Mariah and Ethan have swapped numbers on people who are there to talk to Hobbs. Other employees, no contract tampering, no people in management.
No.
Hey, it's a great place to be, blah, blah, blah. And
I'm actually learning how to do this now.
I'm going to learn how to do this now, yes. But I hope that he goes to NXT for a month or two before he gets put up on the main roster. That's what I hope. But he's got the look, man. He's got the build. And it's just here he is, Will the Anvil Hobbs.
Well, it's like when Goldberg came out. I think they'll have a better plan than when Goldberg debuted. And you got Tony Schiavone screaming to the mic, what do I call this guy? And they go, fuck it, just call him Goldberg.
They could just call him Hobbs.
They could.
Or Will Hobson, whatever. They got to have the Hob in there somewhere.
Big Willie Hobbs.
You can't do that because you got Trick Willie.
What happens with all the big Black and Jack t-shirts they never sold? They got to be discounted. I'm actually going to go. If anybody's out there, go to the AEW store right now and see if those shirts are on sale right now.
Come into your local Dollar Tree down in Jacksonville, Florida.
Damn it, Larry.
What do you do? Is he?
If they call him Calvin Hobbs, you know it's a rip. Jeez Louise.
And tiger stripe tights. Tiger stripe.
Give the old Dusty Rhodes treatment, baby.
Calvin Hobbs. Ladies and gentlemen, Calvin Hobbs.
For those of you that don't know, Calvin and Hobbs was a comic strip in the 80s and 90s that ran for a long time. That was cutting edge all the time. Amazing storylines. I bought the books when I was a kid. Like, I would buy the end of year books.
Mm-hmm. He made so much money off those books. I forgot his name. Bill something or other.
Apter.
He made so much. Bill Apter. Bill Apter. I'm here with Lalani Kai, Judy Martin, the Glamour Girls. What do you think of Calvin and Hobbs? No, Bill. I forgot his Bill Mc. I don't fucking know.
Billy. Just call him Billy.
Calvin was a boy who had a stuffed tiger, and he imagined the tiger to be alive and 6 feet tall. He went on a whole bunch of adventures with the stuffed tiger, and it was just freaking great. I think at the end of the strip,
Bill Watterson, thank you.
Bill Watterson, yes. At the end of the strip, did he give the stuffed tiger to his sister?
I can't remember. I just know that it didn't run as long as I'd have liked because he made so much money, like you said, that he retired pretty young. He was like, I don't need to do this anymore. I've made this for, 15, 20 years. I'm walking away. I can retire. This comic strip was literally in every newspaper across America. It was in every newspaper across
Newspapers.
America.
Remember those kids? Newspapers.
Yeah. Get ink all over
But they came to him for cartoons, movies, animated movies. They wanted to do a Pixar movie of Calvin and Hobbes. He said no all the way around. Didn't want any parts of any of that. He just he put out the compilations of all the strips.
Right.
So
I'm
he
curious
did his own
about
way.
where Hobbs goes, Bottles. I'm going to be
What a
watching.
what a side trek that was.
Yes, we just went down one.
Jesus Christ.
All because Calvin Hobbs is going on WWE.
God damn it, Larry.
I'm looking forward to this. I want to see where this goes. We've always liked Hobbs. For anybody that watches the show, it's like, you guys hate everything AEW. We have said time and again, there's certain wrestlers on this show we feel like don't get used enough, don't get utilized enough. They disappear, and we wonder where the hell they went. Powerhouse Hobbs was one of them. Wardlow's another. We both like MJF. We do agree a little bit of it's getting stale for him, but we'll talk about it a little bit later.
Where's Anna J? Is she in your notes? Where's Anna J? Gone, baby. I guarantee
Where the hell's
you.
Camille? Where's Camille?
They're waiting for the contracts to expire.
Good God, Lily. And when I say Dave Meltzer is not having a good month, he's really not having a good week. Because this was his. Oh, dude, we usually don't talk about him this much, but this just got my attention earlier this week. This was directly from Dave Meltzer about El Grande Americana. This is the worst gimmick ever in WWE history. Yeah, sure, he's over in Mexico, maybe even over in America, and people are demanding more of him, but it's just not working. I have never seen somebody put a sentence that's such an oxymoron statement in my life that calls himself a reporter. How are you going to contradict your own statement in your own quoted paragraph of a sentence?
The worst gimmick of all time.
Are we going to forget about Taurus Man? We're going to forget about that? Or the guy that was a hockey player? Or the plumber?
The goat? The goat man?
Yeah.
Bastion Booger. What about the guys in WCW? Norman the Lunatic. Trucker Norm. They took Norman the Lunatic and gave him a Class A license to go drive a tractor trailer. And it's not even a California license.
How in the hell are you going to tell me that a guy is over and it's a terrible gimmick in the same quoted sentence? It's an oxymoron of a statement. He doesn't look. Right. What he should have said was, I don't like this gimmick, but it's over. That's all he had to say. But because Dave believes that he should be the actual check at the door, he should be the security guard for the wrestling universe. And if he doesn't like it, it shouldn't get in. Because he doesn't like it, and here's the truth, it's getting over because he's making it look easy. He's making wrestling that style look easy.
Who would have thought that Ludwig Kaiser could become a luchador, a masked luchador in 2025 and propel that gimmick to where it is right now? Is he the number one face or heel in AAA? I heard he's getting babyface reactions.
You tell me.
That's where he's at in AAA, and they love him down there. They love him.
That's what I'm hearing. I've never.
It's gotten over AAA. It's gotten over in WWE. So, I mean, when Chad Gable comes back, where does he go? This is something we should talk about.
That's going to be a damn good question is what happens then. You know he's got to be involved in this somehow.
The Battle of the Americanos. You would have Chad. Hear me out on this. Wait a second. You would have Chad and Otis and Tozawa and masks going up against Tyler Bate. Who's the other kid? The kid that was Butch.
I know it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter at this point.
It doesn't matter. It could be anybody.
They're all American.
They're all Americanos. The three Americanos. Yes. The three amigos, the three Americanos. Chevy Chase, Steve Martin, and Martin Short.
Exactly. Denisha said she's hearing that Jamie Hayter's contract is coming up. I haven't heard about that.
I hope so.
If it is, I'll be looking forward to that. So we'll see where that goes. That just
love to see her. You imagine Jamie Hayter coming through WWE and going up against Rhea Ripley. Just two British chicks just punching the shit out of one another. One's Australian.
Mate. Yeah.
It's Australian, mate. They both use the word mate, so that's it.
Put a little shrimp on the barbie. That's what we'll do around here.
Let's drink a warm Guinness and eat some shrimp off the barbie.
Why do you people in England drink warm beer? I got to know. Somebody put it in the comments. Why do Englishmen like warm beer? I don't know about that.
The cost of electricity over in England is outrageous. So to keep the coolers running, they prefer to have them at room temperature.
Well, I would like to hear from them. There's other news to report. TNA has signed Nick Nemeth to a contract extension. So he's not going anywhere for a while. Looks like he'll be there to stay. Good for him.
Good. Do you think Mike Santana is going to go? Oh, here we got Richard Martinez, 3958 for $2. Hair versus mask match at Mania. Gable versus El Grande. You know, that's a hell of a booking idea right there.
I could get behind that.
I could definitely
Although
get
Chad
behind
Gable
that.
ain't got much hair to cut.
Neither does Kaiser. Kaiser's got the old crew cut, the flat top going
Yeah.
on. Yeah.
You got to start growing that shit out if you're going to have that kind of match.
Yeah, absolutely.
You know what? One of the greatest ribs I ever heard pulled in my life was when Kurt Angle was going to go against Edge, and it was the hair versus hair match. I can't remember if it was WrestleMania or where, but Vince McMahon decided he was going to screw with Edge. And the whole time leading up to it, he told Edge he was going to shave his head, that Kurt Angle was going over. So
really,
Edge had boo-boo face all the way up to WrestleMania or whatever the match was. And Kurt Angle was going with it the whole time. He said he looked like he was going to die the day of the match until Vince McMahon told him, I'm just fucking with you, pal. You're going over.
Can you imagine cultivating a big Bret Michaels head of hair all those years, and all of a sudden Vince comes up and says, yeah, we're going to shave that off tonight, pal.
Come on, Edge. It's all coming off. You're going to have to cope with that.
There you go.
Thank you again very much, Richard. We appreciate it. That's a good idea. I could go with that. There's other news to report coming out of everywhere. Apparently,
there's news coming out of every orifice on the internet today.
Well, there's a lot going on. There's backstage news on why Nick Aldis isn't wrestling. This actually made news today.
Why isn't he wrestling? That's a very good news tidbit here. Why isn't he wrestling? I haven't seen this.
Because they like him in this role.
Oh, for shit's sake. They're not going to give the man a match. Come
That's
on, man.
the answer.
I'd love to see a Survivor Series match, dude, with Aldis and three of his best guys who aren't in main events versus Adam Pearce, the three of his best guys who aren't in main events. Is Adam Pearce not wrestling because of a injury?
I don't know about Adam Pearce. I just know I saw this, and I know people have asked about it, so I was like, I got to look this up real quick. They just say they like him in this role. They don't want the GM to get physically involved to look like they are still a competitive wrestler, from what I understand. Well, they want them in a role where they look again, that's what I was going to say. They want him to look the part, but they don't want him to show that he is the part. Otherwise, it makes the wrestlers look feckless when the GM starts pushing them around. DJ says it's a very different type of beer. We drink beer, you drink cold. Okay. We drink the beer you drink. He's saying that he drinks the beer that we drink here in the States cold, but they drink their local beer warm because it's better that way, I guess. I've seen it before. Everybody's like, I want my warm brown beer.
That's thicker, man. That beer over there is thicker. It's richer, full bodied. I like it. I don't like it. I can't imagine drinking it warm. But, if you want that experience, have at it.
There's also news on the Chris Jericho front.
What do you got for that?
He ain't debuting anytime soon from what I can see.
He's still under contract to AEW? Is that what you're telling me?
No, sir. He is going to be on tour with Fozzy throughout February of this year. They've got dates lined up. And it was earlier reported he could appear as early as this month. But now they're saying he's got band appearances all through February in England. And they come home here the next couple of weeks from overseas. So those dates don't line up at all, in my opinion.
No.
That's just one of those things that got my attention. I was like, all right. So again, Dave Meltzer swore up and down he was going to be on the first episode of Raw this year, and he wasn't. And they do keep dropping hints about who's going to break the walls down. That was said on Monday night. Gives you a little bit of a hint of what's going on. So that sort of caught my attention. By the way, thank you all, guys and gals, for watching. Hit that like and subscribe button. There was also big news. I don't know if it's big, but it's big for TNA. TNA debuts tonight, and I've got it set on my DVR.
So do I.
I am going to watch this show.
Yes.
I'm probably going to watch it live. It comes on at 9 p.m. So
yes,
I'm going to check this out.
I
have not watched.
Main event, Mike Santana versus Frankie Kazarian. Santana's rumored to be leaving to go to WWE.
I have not watched this show in years. So it's going to be a very hard reset for me because everybody that I watched back in the day has moved on in life. They've retired or they're WWE if they were any good, or they've moved on out of wrestling. But there was there was big news last night that the Rascals, who I don't know who the Rascals are, but they were apparently a big faction in TNA, have all jumped ship and are going to AEW.
There are 4 little flippy guys. One guy's back is completely wrecked. He wrecked his back in NXT wrestling, that style, the AEW style, and he's paying for it now. And I've only seen him since he came back from injury in tag team matches. I haven't seen him in singles. And the Rascals are no great shakes, pal. They're no great shakes. You've got Mr. Gigi Dolan. Mr. Gigi Dolan is involved in the Rascals. He's the guy who got fired from NXT for having a Hitler Halloween costume and cut a promo in the Halloween costume in his house. And his ex-wife recorded it.
I do remember hearing that. I do remember hearing that.
And she leaked it out because he left her to run around with Gigi Dolan. So
really, that's why he did it.
No. He left his wife to run around with Gigi Dolan. I hear what you're saying, but
that's why she did it.
That's why his wife put that out there. So maybe he would lose his job, and he did. He lost his job.
There's also news on Bruce Pritchard. Now, I used to listen to Bruce Pritchard's podcast all the time because back in the day when hold on, hear me out. Came out like what, 8, 9, 10 years ago, close to it.
Probably
maybe even a little bit more now.
Yeah, maybe.
When he first started that show with Conrad Thompson, it was a raw nerve show. He told you exactly what he thought of people. He told you exactly what happened backstage. Since then, he's been reemployed and he's not even on the show very much anymore. He's been showing up again lately. But they did a show like within the first, I want to say 5 or 6 episodes where they covered the Ultimate Warrior.
Right.
Now, for the life of me, I can't find that show again. I don't know what happened to it. I don't know if they archived it because he said some pretty crazy shit during the course of that show about the Ultimate Warrior.
Back then, he probably figured, I'll never be employed by them again. This show's not going to go anywhere. Nobody's going to hear it. I'll just say whatever I feel like saying. He's going to pay me. The rich guy's going to pay me to be on here and to pick my brain. And there'll be no consequences involved. And look where he is now.
What got my attention was this is what he said in the latest show. I first met Jim Hellwig when he was 3 months into the business in Mid-South, and from the first interaction with him, he was a first-class asshole.
That's what he said back then, back in the day?
That's what he said now.
Oh, okay.
He was not a good person. He was difficult to work with. He thought he knew everything. He was a real jerk, and he just wasn't a very good human being.
That's corroborated by many, many people.
He said the last time he saw him before he went to WWE was when he got a bat upside the head from Bruce Pritchard's boss at the time, the Houston promoter. Was it Bosch? I want to say
Paul Bosch.
Paul Bosch took a bat upside his head, is what he said.
Or was it one of the Von Erichs?
No, it was Paul Bosch, is what he said.
Okay.
And he went running out in the parking lot. Well, Vince McMahon apparently came to him and said, "Hey, Bruce, we're thinking about signing this Warrior guy. Have you worked with him before?" And he told him, "Yeah, and he's a real asshole. I wouldn't bring him in here." Vince, was a big body guy. Always has been, always will be.
Right.
He loved the vascularity, pal. Look at the vascularity.
Look at the traps, that man.
Bruce goes on to this podcast to say, for the first year or so, he was on his best behavior. And then you started to see the chinks in the armor. And once he got that big payday.
The cheeks in the armor?
The
chinks?
Yeah. He said once he got that, he started showing his ass. So he became who he was in the Indian. I have never heard anybody say anything good about Jim Hellwig. Never. Like, it's just never happened. May he rest in peace, but God knows from what everybody says here, he just has not been good. He wasn't a good person while he was here. There's also a report from WWE about the commercials that are going on with Raw right now.
Oh,
and they have heard the fans bitching, and they are going to do something about it.
The unskippable commercials.
The ungodly, numerous commercials.
God, horrible.
It has ruined Raw. What was one of their best shows is ruined right now because you watch something for 6 minutes and you get a 3-minute commercial. Do you realize they were doing 12 commercials at one point in time for the show?
Well, you get 3 minutes of commercials. And
I mean, my God,
if it's a minute, 15-second spots, yeah, I can see that. Just piping them in, pal.
I know. Well, now they're saying they're going to cut it back to 10. I still don't think that's enough. You need to have it around 8 or 9 because let's face it, Raw's about an hour and a half to 2 hours now. And if you skip the commercials, it's like an hour and 15. They've just gotten the greed is getting out of control to WWE. The greed's out of control. I'm just going to say it.
Didn't watch it live. I watch it at 8:30 on Netflix, and it came on 2:00 in the afternoon,
something like
stateside,
that, yeah.
something like that, because they were over in Scotland or over in Europe, and I watched that shit, and I couldn't skip it. I couldn't skip through the commercials like you usually can.
I don't know. They've stopped it for some reason now.
Don't know, but I didn't like it. But you've got to pay these salaries. You got to pay these salaries somehow, Don.
I didn't like it one bit, Bottles. It was too many goddamn commercials. It's enough. Enough with the commercials, Triple H. You greedy bastard.
Some people say that the money that WWE is making is feeding UFC. I don't know how true that is. You think that's any truth to that? Any smoke to that?
What'd you say? I'm sorry. What'd you say?
The money that WWE is making right now is feeding UFC. Because UFC's business has dropped down a little bit.
I have heard that. I have seen that. I also heard UFC lost money the last couple of years, is what I've heard, that they lost money. They desperately needed this Paramount deal, which, by the way, you're getting two UFC fights this month at the end of the month. So I think it's the 22nd of the 28th or the 21st of the 28th. It's the last 2 Saturdays of the month. You're getting back-to-back UFC fights. I'm going to watch this. I know we also have Saturday night's main event next weekend, I believe, or the weekend after that. And then we have the Royal Rumble, but the Royal Rumble will be at a different time because it'll be during the day, because it'll be in Saudi Arabia, which, by the way, have you seen the Saudi Arabians having to build a stadium from scratch because all of their stadiums in the country are currently booked?
Right. I did see that. Yes. I talked about that on the show this afternoon.
What show is that, Bottles?
Johnny Bottles Hates Everything.
Yes, you did. I wanted to cover it again here to make sure we hit on this because I find it. Can you imagine going to a meeting? Come here. We will show you a good time. You cannot wrestle there. We'll build you a new stadium. Like, dude, that's the craziest shit I've ever heard in my life.
The picture that was put out where it was half finished is false. It was backed up by Pro Wrestling Insider, Mike Johnson, triple checked it and said that it's almost done. It's not halfway finished. It's almost done. They're ready to go. They'll be ready to go in a week. No problem.
It caught my attention because at first I was like, there's no way they're building them a brand new stadium just for this. But if you look at it, it's not your true traditional stadium. Like, they're not throwing up concrete blocks. My guess is they're going to put in one of those big, what do you call it? The big ass balloon type ceilings that can still hold a little bit of weight so they can crank the AC down there. They're throwing up essentially the same thing that they did for WrestleMania 8, where they had these huge grandstands that they wheeled in and just stretched out and set up. So I will be curious what this shit looks like today. By the way, we're on Spotify. Check us out there as well. Thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Hit the notifications button. The super chat's open if you got something to say, because I want to talk about SmackDown. We've covered a lot of news, but we got to talk about SmackDown.
What a show. What an ending.
The ending just was everything. It was everything. We have a new Universal Champion in WWE, Bottles.
Drew McIntyre.
Drew McIntyre beat Cody Rhodes to swap their main title on a Friday night show after Dave Meltzer said a couple months ago Drew McIntyre would be off TV for a very long time because he was filming a movie. Swing and a miss. Dave Meltzer in the parking lot catching foul balls when he should be at left field.
Left and right.
It's ridiculous.
Horrible.
But it's the way Drew McIntyre won this title that got my attention because Jacob Fatu returned with a vengeance, got in the ring, told everybody in the audience, he said, you see these hands? They're bisexual. Anybody can get them. And whoop Cody Rhodes' ass.
Yes, he did, because Cody Rhodes tried to get him to back off of Drew McIntyre. I thought for sure when Drew had his head hanging out, he was going to grab that, Jacob was going to grab that door and just slam it on his head.
I did too.
Yes.
But I thought it was hilarious that Jacob just came in there and cleaned house. Everybody got a piece of it. And Drew literally just fell out the door to become your new Universal Champion. And they're overseas in Europe. And he defended the belt while they were over there. And he got huge ovations.
Yes, he did. Yes, he did. Three-way for the belt. Next PLE. Royal Rumble.
Hold on. I'm glad you mentioned this.
Or
because once again, it was reported that as of last Wednesday, all the WrestleMania plans changed. They all changed.
Every single one of them.
Three-way. It could be a three-way. It could be a 2-on-2. It could be a 1-on-2. It could be a 2-on-2x4. It could be a tie on 2x4. It could be a ladder on a pole on a chair match. It could be anything.
Whatever.
Where do they get this shit from, man?
Dave Meltzer. Like it's a fever dream. He wakes up. He wakes up because of that cancerous carcinogenic hair dye rotting his brain. He wakes up in the middle of the night in a cold sweat with black streaks dripping down his forehead, thinking, what am I going to talk about?
I got to make some shit up.
But Brian,
do you understand how absurd it is to say on a Wednesday, on a dime, everything changed? Do you not think that they had this title change planned for Friday? And Jacob Fatu's return wasn't planned? You think it just dropped out of the sky?
It fell out of the sky, Don. Fell out of the sky.
It's the most ridiculous thing I have ever seen. Just utterly ridiculous. But having said that, I'm looking forward to seeing where this goes. I'm going to watch SmackDown Friday. I got no other plans. There's no football to watch, so I'm looking forward to that. The other piece of this puzzle we have got to talk about was Monday Night Raw's fallout. Because CM Punk and apparently Finn Balor are going to have a title match next week. So I enjoyed that interaction. I thought it was fun. I thought it was great that Finn Balor got to see it. And CM Punk actually commented on his retirement plans today. I don't remember where I saw it from, but he said, when I was younger, if you'd asked me if I was going to be wrestling when I was 40, I'd have said, you're out of your mind. He said, but here I am now. I'm 47. I feel great. My body doesn't hurt. If I had to put a figure on it, it would probably be around 50. I think that might be a nice round age to walk away from, but I feel good right now. You just never know. I don't think he makes it to 50 because his body hasn't shown it can hold up the last couple of years. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's 50's not a good look for him. I don't know. I'm agreeing with you there, but if he went out at WrestleMania, won the belt at WrestleMania, or retain the belt at WrestleMania, he'd have to lose the belt and then gain it back at WrestleMania, at a WrestleMania, to be that WrestleMania moment where he won the belt at a WrestleMania, and then he could just go out the next day on Raw and say, I'm retiring.
Tony Khan would be like, I could have had a tournament. They're going to have a tournament, and I'm not going to have one. I'm going to have one now.
He's better in commentary than Bryan Danielson. I could have had him on commentary when he retired.
I will be curious what his post-career wrestling looks like for CM
NXT.
Because he very much wants NXT badly. I know. Yes.
Yes, he does.
So I did want to talk about that. The other part about Raw that really got my attention, and got yours as well, and told you, I said, there's two parts of this shit that just blew my mind. Braun Breaker is the greatest thing since sliced bread. I'm sorry. He does everything right. And Adam Pearce fed into this brilliantly. If you didn't see Raw, here's what happened for his highlight. Adam Pearce told Paul Heyman Braun Breaker was not to be in the building tonight. It was not to be near the wrestling match where his group was going up against the Luchador group, right? He said he better not be near this ring. Well, guess what happens? He comes down, gets involved, and it gets DQ'd. He gets in the ring, and Adam Pearce puts his hands on Braun Breaker to push him. Braun Breaker throws him into the corner, and right before it looks like he's going to kick the shit out of him, his own faction grabs him and pulls him away. Security comes down. There's a huge brouhaha. It looks amazing. Looked incredible.
Incredible. Threw him up against the turnbuckles and just
shook his ass.
Yes.
Then you cut to backstage, and Braun Breaker's walking down the hallway, and Adam Pearce comes running out like a lunatic, screaming at him.
Drooling.
Rating him. It was awesome. By the way,
just Spraying right down his chin while he's screaming at Braun Baker. Braun
Tony
Breaker.
Khan, if you want to have somebody, Tony Khan, that's your GM, this is the attitude you want them to have. This is how you want them to be.
Yes. Not someone who's going to challenge somebody to their last match. You're going to, I want one more match. It's going to be against you, Hangman.
He essentially tells him, you're banned from the show tonight, and I'm going to ban you next week. And Paul Heyman walks up to him, and he says, that's the biggest mistake I've ever seen. And Adam Pearce looks up and goes, that's right. He just made the biggest mistake ever. And Paul says back to Pearce, no, you made the mistake. You put your hands on him. That's not allowed, and you know that. And walks off. And Adam Pearce looked like he went dead white. Looked like he was white as a ghost. And scene. Wow. Chef's kiss good.
During a commercial break, they showed Logan Paul talking to Adam Pearce. And he just said, dude, just back off. Just back off. He's going to kill you. He's going to kill you. Just back off. I saw that clip on Twitter.
I thought it was great. I thought everything about this was I thought it was so good.
So good. I'm glad they invested in these young guys, these three young guys. And Bron Sarita's a young guy. He's not old.
Right.
So,
right.
Yeah. I'm glad they invested in these guys with Heyman. Bring in Lesnar. What a faction. Austin Theory. We've got about Austin Theory. Austin Theory's in the group. Marco Mattacoli with $4.99. Thank you, Marco. Dave Meltz reported the Jags were supposed to beat the Bills, but Tony Khan changed the finish because Josh Allen versus Don's Broncos would draw more.
Go Broncos. I can't wait to watch my show. By the way, we got a friendly wager going on with the show Jake takes on with George. We'll talk about it more next week properly. So just keep you in the loop. There's a little friendly bet going on behind the scenes. So keep your ears and your eyes peeled for that possibly next week. But yeah, I thought this was so good, Bob. Is there anything else you want to say about it before we get to the main event of this show?
Nope. I just when I saw Breaker go off, I'm thinking, I can't believe what I'm watching right here in 2K in 4K rather. I just can't believe what I'm watching. This is fantastic. It was when they say cinema, this is cinema. That whole interaction between Pierce and the security guards and the Vision in both instances in the ring and backstage, it was great. Fantastic. What more can you say about it?
I could say that this main event, I can't say enough. I love Gunther. Everything about Gunther is the throwback wrestler. He's not overly built. He's not
flashy.
Overly muscular, but he just does everything. He executes at a high level. And he and AJ Styles put on a hell of a show last night. Monday night.
Hell of a match. Yeah.
And it happened to where AJ Styles got him in a finishing move, and the ref is on the right side of this move, and he's looking at him and nothing's happening. And on the left side, Gunther starts tapping AJ to give up.
Yes.
And AJ thinks he won. He gets up to celebrate.
Yes.
And the ref.
No.
That's not happening. You're out. No.
Yes. Oh my God.
He's confused, turns around, gets powerbombed. Gunther walks out the ring, the winner. I just love this finish. It felt like an 80s finish to me, where the heel screws the guy over in the end, and you're like, damn it. He was smarter than him again.
Right.
I loved it. Thank you very much. Thank you so much.
I saw it was one of those endies of the show where you're watching to produced by Paul Levesque and whatever the other guy's name is. That comes up. Okay, what's going to happen now? Is anything going to happen? But nothing happened. Just AJ was incredulous. He couldn't believe it.
I just love this finish so much. I'm sorry.
Yes.
And then we have AEW.
It's Wednesday.
You know what that means.
I don't know what we're yelling about.
That's how this whole show felt to me from bell to bell.
I don't know. I'm just glad Jim Ross was not on this episode of this show.
Did you notice it was only a 2-man booth right out of the gate? It was Bryan Danielson and the Masked Goof.
No Shivani, and I hope it's a trend that continues. Although Bryan Danielson is horrible at commentary. Horrible.
This was Maximum Carnage. They had 3,029 tickets distributed in a building that holds 5,000. I can't rip them. These are the size of the buildings they need to be going to. It looked like a pretty full house. It looked good. It felt good. The mood was right. The fans were into it. And then we get Samoa Joe backstage talking about Adam Page and said he put a bounty on his head. And Low Plains Drifter appeared on my screen, and I popped like a 10-year-old at Christmas. I said, where you been, Low Plains? I missed you so much.
It felt like the warm handshake of an old friend you haven't seen in a long time. Big Bill and Low Plains Drifter coming down the ramp.
I genuinely popped when Low Plains. I called you. You called me. I was like, Low Plains Drifter's on the show. You said,
and
what?
I said, bullshit.
I gotta watch.
He's on collision.
So happy this happened. And then we get Darby Allin and his moody ways coming down to the ring. And Pac is with Renee Baguette talking onto the microphone as she walks by him. So Pac goes walking by Renee Baguette with the syringe sticking out of his ass where he's juiced up again. And she's talking about the insights of the match and how I'm very confused on why she has this sideline gig now.
Why are they doing this? Was this ESPN? What's going on here?
That's what I'm saying. Like, what the hell, man? This adds nothing. It adds confusion.
The last 2 or 3 weeks she's been doing this. I don't understand it. Probably, you know what I would say? I would say because the sound is so fucking bad in the back room with the echoes and the shitty microphones. That's probably why they have her out there doing it.
You might be right.
Well, we've been complaining about that for weeks, for months, how bad the sound is backstage. They can't get it right.
Pac starts to make his way to the ring, and Darby Allin comes flying out like a lawn dart, and the syringe goes flying out of Pac's ass into the crowd. I don't know where that thing went. The dude is juiced out of his mind. He's juiced out of his mind. It's just insane. The bell doesn't ring, so the match hasn't started, and they fight into the crowd immediately. And folks, when I say that they fight into the crowd, I'm talking about they're way up in the stands.
Yes.
They're getting close to the top section to where the top seats are. Like they're fighting forever. And then it gets worse. They get to a point where they want to do a spot. I'm not making this up. You saw it. Anybody that watched this show saw it. They're in the crowd. Darby Allin is going up to give his coffin drop off of one of those areas just above the walk area where he can drop down. And you can't see shit. There's not a spotlight on these guys. You don't know where they are. You can't see a damn thing. There's a body of people below him. You can't see which one is Pac. It's just black figures. You don't know. They cut to a camera away from the ring to hope to get a better shot of this. It's even worse. Now you really can't see shit.
They got
the cameraman's like, oh shit, where are they? This thing was a joke. And then Darby flies off with his coffin drop, hits it, and you have no idea where anybody went. They pulled a Kaiser Soze, just fucking disappeared into blackness.
I had no interest in this whatsoever. All this was going on. No interest whatsoever in any of this. None of it's realistic. Darby Allin could, if this fight was in a back alley, Darby Allin would be dead. That's all I can tell you. Going up against a guy like Pac, especially with flying around a room, coffin drops. Darby Allin won't be able to walk in 10 years.
Oh,
he'll be in a chair. He'll have the Dynamite Kid problem, the Tom Billington problem, where your back is so wrecked you're just going to be in a chair because you can't feel nothing from the waist down.
I wrote in my notes, you can't see shit on this move. You just couldn't see anything. It blew my mind that they did this spot and nobody can see anything when this is happening, man. I'm sure it was a cool looking spot in the daylight.
Right.
It looked like I dropped my cat from up here at midnight. You're not going to see it. Anyway, They finally get back to the ring. Darby Allin is doing all kinds of nonsense. He takes an awesome bomb from inside the ring to the ring entrance, which was elevated, but still it looked stiff as shit. Pac did a suplex, a belly-to-belly suplex on Darby Allin onto the steel steps. Just chucked him over. I read on the internet, though, it's okay because those stairs were shaved down. They were gimmicked.
Were you sanding them down backstage? Did we, Dean? Dean Malenko will back me up.
This thing went on and on. It was a 20-minute match. I told you I wasn't kidding. Pac gives him a bunch more coffin drops in the ring. Lifeboy runs down to interfere after a ref bump. Lifeboy gets whacked and he gets taken out. Darby Allin hits another coffin drop, breaks Pac's ankle with another coffin drop, then gets the Pac the tap out. And it's
about the ref bump. Seriously?
Yeah, that was pretty weak.
Pretty weak bump, and the ref acted like he was shot in the head by a tear gas canister by an ICE agent. He just went down and never got back up again. It looked like he was, I don't know what. He looked like he was just dying, barely hanging on. He should have just rolled right out of the ring instead of being on the apron. Should have just fell out of the ring and make it look better. I don't know. It was horrible.
I don't know what to say about Darby Allin other than he's awful.
He's awful.
I'm going to throw myself through some shit and take some ridiculous bumps, and we'll call it a match.
He's awful.
He's your favorite. But you know what? Next up, you know him. You love him. It's Low Plains Drifter, and he makes his way down to the ring with his mascot in tow.
Collecting that bounty. Low Plains Drifter.
That bounty.
I noticed the pants were not up to the nipples.
They weren't, but he pulled them up a couple of times and gave me some hope.
Yes.
It got well past the belly button.
Hope.
I had hope.
I had to doctor the thumbnail. I said, I put it in Grok. I said, can you raise this man's pants, his waistband of his pants up to his nipples? That's the best I got.
If you don't know how he got this name, ladies and gentlemen, you're new to the show, or you've only been watching for a few months. Thank you, by the way, for watching. Like and subscribe. We were watching this show with him in it a year ago, and we both noticed his pants were literally up to just below his nipples. And I don't remember what happened, but out of nowhere, a bottle says he's Low Plains Drifter. And I'm sorry, but I about died laughing. That's one of the greatest nicknames ever.
He had the Eastwood hat with the serape, the cover up around him, and walking to the ring. Yeah, Low Plains Drifter.
Low Plains Drifter on set. Everybody hit your marks.
5'5", 100. They said he was 185 pounds. I don't believe that for a minute. He's probably 135.
He has slimmed up.
Yes, he has.
I remember this. Anyway, Big Bill's outside the ring. I can't with this match. It's too funny with the nonsense that was going back and forth.
Why is Big Bill outside the ring and Big Bill does not have a match on Dynamite? Why? Bad attitude?
I don't know.
I don't know
why a guy that's 6'10" can't get booked any better than he has throughout his career. I just don't get it, man.
He could be like Lance Archer. He could be like
the Undertaker.
Don Callis family, where he just doesn't do anything. He just comes out with a crowd and looks around with his sunglasses on and goes backstage. That's it. Pay me.
That's it. Anyway, this thing goes on, and Low Plains Drifter had his earrings out. Well, if you call them earrings, I don't know what do you call them when they stretch your ear out? Because he didn't have them in. Spacers. Yes, sorry.
Yeah.
And you kids, before you get spacers, be sure you take a good long look at what they do to your ears long term. Because there ain't no fixing that. All they can do is cut it. He had big, huge gaping shit. Gauges. Thank you.
Gauges. They make a big snip and they trim off the lobe and they sew it back up again, and you lose feeling in your earlobe from all that. But
anyway, Big Bill tries to interfere. Swerve comes out to stop him, and Paige wins. So now Paige gets in the ring. Or as Paige is in the ring, in comes Stokes, and he starts to cut a promo. Have we learned nothing on cutting promos after you just had a match? As in, don't do it?
They enforce it. That's a requirement. When you're winning from the match, we're going to cut a promo.
Paige is out of gas. Try to cut this promo. Win bagging his ass off. I told you, I beat you, and I'm coming for you, MJF. It's not over yet. I'm still coming. I was like, good God, man. Why not let Swerve talk first? Never mind. I see what I just said out loud there. Swerve does call out MJF right after this.
Yeah, don't let him talk first. Jesus Christ. No, don't do that.
Out comes Kenny Omega, and he says he's also wanting to prove himself and that he is worthy of a championship. Kenny says he was called a wrestling god by the fans, and if they still believe that.
Oh.
Dude, I have never thought Kenny Omega was a high performance wrestler. I have never gotten what he does. I've never understood why people thought he was this great talent. I never liked his matches. I've never been a fan of his.
No.
Bye, and good night, bang. Goodbye.
That shit.
And
that
good
shit.
Night, bang. Goodbye.
It's bad. It's just bad.
Goodbye.
Good night,
It's just bad. That bad. That bad. I don't understand. I don't know why people like this guy. He says that every time. It's that annoying. I let that run so it would be how just annoying it is when he does it. It doesn't do anything for anybody. It just doesn't. By the way, they always announce him, Kenny Omega returns. He's had more returns than anybody else I know. And Roman Reigns.
He's got problems. He's got problems. Not going to say what those problems are, but you know, and you could probably, if you're an intelligent man, you could probably put it together. He's got problems. Hopefully he's kicked those problems.
I hope so. Kenny Omega goes to continue speaking. Paige shakes his hand and leaves. Swerve just doesn't. Swerve just walks out. And then Kenny Omega Kenny Omega goes to speak, and out comes Don Callis and 3 more nondescript wrestlers. Kenny says he'll fight tonight. Don says, "Yup, you'll wait till next week."
Josh Alexander. He's going to face Josh Alexander next week. Captain
That'll
Headgear.
put butts in seats.
Who's going to win that, Don?
Is there anybody?
Never won it.
The guy that's never won? Yeah, he's going to win this one for sure.
Sure he is.
And I got to know, I can't be alone to this Kenny Omega train. I have never seen this guy since he's come into AEW and thought that guy should have gone to WWE. All I think is he does a bunch of shit. He just does a bunch of shit. His promos are the worst. His signature ending is terrible. And
horrible.
Anyway, Renee Baguette is worth a worthless Brody King who talks to a guy I don't know, and it turns out this guy is MJF's lawyer and translator.
Spanish translator. He was on there last week.
Yeah, I know, but I don't recognize him because it's not on here week. Then we get Brody versus this guy out of nowhere. Why is this a match?
All of a sudden, after coming back from a commercial break, this is now a match. The guy kicked his shoes off and wrestled him in street clothes, if you could call that wrestling. And it was over and done. It was over by the time it took me to introduce this segment and talk about it. It was done. The match was over.
It really was. Next up, you know what we get?
Fat asses.
Mark Davis.
Fat ass Mark Davis. With
his buddy Doyle. 8-Ball Bailey and Michael Knight come out. The Ping Pong Gang comes out versus the Bucks. And this is everything I thought it would be. The Bucks become the Road Warriors. They don't sell very long. They do a million moves, and it's just constant nonsense throughout the match to where you just don't give a shit who wins and loses. You just want it to fucking end. You just want it to end.
I was so tired of this. I got up, I did something else, got a sandwich, got another beer. It was horrible.
Then Jack Perry comes out at the end of this thing to interfere. Ricochet gets involved. This all breaks down. Fat ass Mark Davis team wins.
Because the solution to a bombing segment is more Jack Perry. Bring him out.
Said no one ever. No one. But wait, it gets worse. Because then we get an actual Collision promo from like 6 wrestlers. I don't know who these people are. And they're all waiting to say their line. This was like 90s WWF cheese. in like
It was.
93 for the Survivor Series. I'll say alive, then you say alive, then you. It was horrible, Johnny.
It was Top Flight, I think. I forgot who the other team was. Doesn't really matter. It's just these are people who are relegated to Collision. They're trying to, you know what he's trying to do? He's trying to pump up Collision in any way he can.
Oh, yeah.
Yes.
Of
Have you
course he
noticed
is.
that you'll never see spoilers for Collision from the usual
They
suspects
don't post
on Twitter?
You've got to go look for them, but the usual suspects don't post them. You're right.
Right.
You're exactly right. But the day SmackDown is filmed, you will see Dave Meltzer and the other dirt boys put that shit out immediately what the results are. You don't need to watch here's all the results.
Yes.
Collision is a dying show. Put that bitch out of its misery.
This is a dying company. Dude, they got one foot on banana peel. The other foot is in the twilight zone, in the abyss. They're almost gone, okay? Oh, they're going to be profitable. They're very profitable. They've been around for 7 years now. They're going to be around for another 7 years in perpetuity. No, they're not. No, they're not.
They really do believe that this is going to be around as long as Senior Khan is okay with him losing money. That's how long this is going to be around.
It's going to be
Seriously.
around as soon as the people who actually buy this company, the parent company will say,
Right. As soon as
why
that
are we're spending all that money on them?
Wait,
No,
how much are we paying? $170 million.
a year?
Do you see what's going on in NXT? They paid like $35 million for that show. What are we doing here?
And we own Big Bang Theory reruns. We own the Warner Brothers movie catalog. We own Batman.
Yeah, the hell with that. Anyway, this is my favorite part of the match because
Yes.
the Tickler trio comes out from behind the screen. And I said, I'm watching the Tickler gang. I got to see this. And their versus Harley Cameron, Willow Nightingale, and KRS-One. And I said, this shit's going to be amazing. Can't wait to watch this match.
KRS-One.
The one thing I noticed from this match immediately, the crowd was dead ass silent.
Everyone was buying food and taking a leak when this was up. That's what they were doing.
They did not give a shit about this match. They didn't
Julia
care.
Hart and Sky Blue are fucking horrible in the ring. Just horrendous. Potatoes, not being able to do basic moves. Harley Cameron's she's no Natty Neidhart. She's horrible also. But at least she's trying. And the other ones.
You did notice the cameraman outside of the ring when this bitch was wrapping up, and the blue chick was bent
Sky
over.
Blue. Yes.
Sky Blue was bent over. Boy,
Yes.
he got to focus on that ass in a quick hot minute.
He was doing the
zooming
Lord's
that
work,
bitch
pal.
in.
He's trying to get ratings for that quarter hour. He's trying to get the ratings up for the quarter hour. That's what he was doing.
Hey,
Where's
I'm
Anna
just
Jay,
saying.
pal?
I don't know. But this was the match that I noticed Aubrey Edwards. She had been on her best behavior until the women got in the ring. And when the women got in the ring, she was doing okay until the very end. And at the finish, she was doing all her shit. She was prancing. She was making the faces. She was doing the fucking Hogan poses. She had it all down. She got her shit in, pal.
I noticed Chris Statlander tagged in right before the finish, and Aubrey Edwards ran behind Chris Statlander because she knew Statlander was on camera. She ran right behind her. Look at me, look at me, look at me.
Anyway, the Ticklers group wins. You can stroke it.
What are the referees? Well, it was the bald one. I forgot who the hell. The younger bald one during this show. The guy had it was MJF. MJF had Bandido in a submission hold. And the referee, I forgot the guy's name. He was down on the ground going like this. What does that mean? What is that? He was laying on his stomach with his hands outstretched in Bandido's face. Would you like a Subway sub? Would you like a sandwich?
I have
What
an
the hell?
imaginary 8-ball right here. Let me
Here
shake
you
it.
go.
Will you win this match? Outcome unknown. This thing just
It's so Bush League. It is just so Bush League. It makes Billy Corgan's NWA look like a high production value extravaganza. It really does.
Stroking. I just Aubrey Edwards in this match. Just here she came, pal. Here she came. And she was going to get it in.
How much longer is this going to go on with Aubrey Edwards? Anyone in their
know,
right mind would say, whatever you're doing in these matches, let's take a
Stop.
week or two where you just stop. And if you can't
Every
stop,
time
we're going to make you stop.
the Hogan point pose gets me every time. She tagged. You tagged. Like, all I'm waiting for her to do next is just rip the shirt and be like, just go full on. Do the whole thing, girl. Don't do it half-assed. We don't do, we go whole hog around these parts. Get your shit in.
Yeah.
Anyway, we cut to the backstage that we talked about earlier. Renee Baguette with 8-Ball and Michael Knight. And Swerve Strickland comes in. Out of nowhere.
Was the car outside with the motor running?
It was.
Yeah.
Ready to get the hell out of town. Swerve Strickland enters the chat first.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, you guys are awesome. I think you're going far in this league. I love you guys. I'm out. Work with you a long time. 8-Ball. I hope to work with you again in the future. I was like, that felt completely unnecessary. I don't know where that's going. I don't understand anything about what I just saw. That made no sense. They don't have a connection in this company.
No.
These guys have been a tag team now for 6 months. What the hell was that? And then out of nowhere, Adam Page comes in and says, I want to team with you guys. And I meant what I said. I'm taking everything I can away from Samoa Joe. And we've got a trios match, title match on Collision this Saturday. And 8-Ball goes, is this real? Am I a kid? Are we really going to have this match? And Adam Page goes, I just made the match. Didn't you hear me? And walks off. And 8-Ball and Michael Knight share a moment to give each other the most awkward fucking high five I've ever seen in my life.
Did 8-Ball say at any point in time, and you too can donate to St. Jude's Hospital?
I swear, dude.
The Ashen Chevalier X with a Canadian 5 spot. Thank you, sir. I'm assuming you're a sir. Is one of Kenny's problems. He hopefully kicked his addiction to Japanese women that look underage. I think he's still a young Japanese woman enthusiast. That's what I think.
By the way, Ashton Chevalier, thank you very much. Good to see you again, brother.
Yes.
I don't know, but that is definitely an issue with him. I know one thing, you haven't seen Riho in forever.
No.
She comes and goes like a fart in the breeze.
Who else have you haven't seen? Nyla Rose. Gone.
Yeah, she's gone.
Disappeared.
Gone.
I guess Monet didn't want to work with her.
Brett Breaker, gone.
Britt Baker, gone.
Camille, gone.
Gone. Cooling their
Where
heels
the
at
hell
home.
is, you know who I haven't seen on this show in a while either?
Hikaru
been a couple-
Shida, the Japanese chick,
Yeah,
who
where
was
the hell
always
she
on
go?
there. She was a champ at one
Yeah.
time. Hikaru
Yeah.
Shida. Yeah.
Gone.
Gone.
I couldn't say her name for shit, but I knew who she was when I saw her.
Yeah.
That's Hilo Sheila.
Hello, Sheila. Hello. Hello.
That's how I. That's
Yes,
how I know her.
Hello, Sheila. And Monet probably didn't want to work with him.
Maybe
Not at all. Can you picture Monet wrestling Nyla Rose?
No.
Reaching up in there to body slam Nyla Rose? Find that surprise between those thighs? No, thank you, sir. No, thank you.
Then we get to the main event, and I said I'm going to watch this because it's MJF.
Yes.
I want to see him wrestle because I do like the way he wrestles. I do. I think he's a
Yes.
great performer. I think he's spinning his wheels down in AEW, to be quite frank. Good for him.
Making all
Thank
the
you again,
money.
Ashton.
Making all
He's
the
making
money.
as much money
Traveling
as,
with
I'm
his,
not saying he's not. Yeah.
right. Traveling with his fiance.
Not saying he's not. Okay. Good
Wait a
for
minute.
him.
Did they get married?
They got married. Yeah.
They got married. Traveling with his wife, Alicia Friedman.
So it's
Toot.
MJF versus Mexican He-Man. And
I'm
I don't
gonna
know.
gargle your piss.
That's right.
That's right.
Did you notice the Mexican He-Man?
Yes.
Folks, I'm not making this up. This was a real thing. And I'm not talking about like a Drew McIntyre sword. That's a real sword that was really handed down. Apparently, it's his heritage sword from his family. I'm not talking about a cool prop like that.
Right.
This son of a bitch had a Dark Soul sword. It's the only way I can describe it. Dark Souls or something along those lines that had little edges all the way down it. That was utterly absurd looking at his hands because the thing came up to his titties almost when he put it on the ground. And he's dressed. I don't know what his outfit's supposed to be. I don't know what he's supposed to be right now. What the hell is he?
I have no idea. I have no
How
idea
do you
what they're doing with
say
this guy.
He-Man in Spanish?
The only thing that I could think of is I really don't care about what he's supposed to be. This guy is not even on my radar. I don't tune in for his matches. I don't say I can't miss that Bandido match tonight. This was just MJF, like you said, spinning his wheels.
He-Man is also used in Spanish, so there's no translation needed.
Okay, Iman.
He-Man. This match shows me why MJF is one of the best workers in the world. He really can work with anybody, and he can do anybody's style. I am not a fan of this mask guy. I don't think he's great. After the match, MJF won, by the way. They had one of those little deals where they kept trading spots where it was 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1, 1, 2. They had one of those spots. It's what I thought it was going to be, MJF having to adopt his style to sell this guy's moves, because that's what Tony Khan wants. I want you to sell my guy's moves because he's one of my favorite wrestlers. That's my favorite new guy. I like Bandido.
Right.
I don't care that he looks like an utter ridiculous goof in that mask with the sword, with the cape. He had a cape, by the way.
Of course. Zora.
He-Man. No, bitch,
Hey,
Zora
Google,
was
how do you
happy.
say He-Man in Spanish?
Siri, show me busty Latinas.
That's not what I asked for.
Busty Latinas.
No.
Anyway, this match is what you thought it would be. MJF won, then he jumped him at the end and cut commercial. This was their pay-per-view for TV. It was what it was. I'm not going to sit here and act like it was anything less than I thought it was going to be. It didn't break anything. It didn't do anything new. The lighting was terrible as always. They had a million matches that didn't mean shit. They had interactions that didn't mean shit. But the real story is what happened on Collision.
Collision.
The trio's titles changed hands. So
They
now
had
you
to.
slap together team of Adam Page and the 8-Ball Speed team. They're the new champion. So I don't know where Page is going in the company right now. He was your world champion a month ago. Now he's relegated to 3-mans. I don't get it. The other part about this that I do not get, and I'm going to give you your moment to run and take a victory lap here. Jon Moxley comes out on Collision to have a commentator spot next to Tony Schiavone and whoever it was doing Collision that night.
Mm-hmm.
His girl Footloose is having a match. She's fighting some other chick. After the match, the Don Callis family comes out and attacks Jon Moxley so that his Cracker Clan has to come save him. This is all the same night. Understand this. His guy fought the biggest babyface company in the opening match. Now he's getting jumped by one of the biggest heel factions of the company. I don't understand what the hell they're trying to do with Jon Moxley and his faction. I
told you last week.
I know.
He's
Go ahead.
He's
say
tired of getting booed. He's tired of getting booed. He books all his own shit. He books all these Death Rider angles. He's in charge of all that. And I guarantee you, he's tired of being booed. And this is what you get. A babyface Jon Moxley, which makes no sense whatsoever because the Death Riders were born to kill AEW.
Yeah. So are the Death Riders going to be heels and he's the face? Like, this doesn't mesh, man. It doesn't line up on any kind of common basic sense from a wrestling angle to me.
Only if you do an angle where they're baby faces for a while, backing him up, and then at a big match, they turn on him. And a new guy comes out. Probably somebody just signed with the company will come out and be the new leader of the Death Riders. And Moxley will be the forever baby face fighting from underneath and working his way down the line, starting out with Garcia, then Lice Boy, then Claudio, that'll put on a dress and wrestle Footloose. and then the new guy who's running the faction, whoever that may be. Andrade?
I don't know what we're yelling about!
I don't get
Jesus.
this show.
Did you see Andrade is wrestling some bum from Mexico on Collision? Yes. Angelico, I think his name is.
I don't know. I don't understand the Moxley angle bottles. I don't get it. I don't know where this is going. It just doesn't feel like I should give a shit. You've been so wishy-washy this whole time as far as being unbeatable, and you choked out Bryan Danielson with by the way, choked him with a plastic bag. And here we are a year later, and I'm supposed to cheer this. I don't get any of this, man. You got to make it make sense to me, buddy.
I don't like it, pal.
But I think
like
you're
any
right.
of it.
I think the rest of the faction is going to be heels. He's going to go face, and they're going to turn on him and say he changed or some bullshit. I
That's what's
knew
gonna
it
be.
last week. You were onto something when he shook his hands. I said, okay, here we go.
Let me ask Will Ospreay what he thinks. Hang on a second. Will, what do you think about this?
Sir, next time I get it. Part down, bro.
Okay, that's what Will says. And you know what Will says. You can take that to the bank. Well,
It's
Dodd,
exhausting.
it's
exhausting.
8:16. It's 8:16.
It's exhausting.
I'm fed up and tired.
You know what? Everybody, thank you for watching. Like and subscribe. Hit that notifications button. See you next.
Till next week, Gordon Soley saying so long from the Sunshine State.